Hey everybody, Charles Robbins here at Acre Realty, your local real estate expert in the Fox City serving Northeast Wisconsin. Today I got another great question from a buyer. So I wanted to get on here and answer that question for you guys. How much should I offer on a home? So you're out there with your agent looking at properties. Eventually you're going to come across that home that you absolutely love and you want to make an offer on it. And most buyers always look towards your agent to help to determine what that offer should be. But before we get started, there's a couple things you have to consider right away. One is, how are you represented by the agent? Because that's going to really determine how we can help you with that purchase price and determining what your offer should be. So if you're just a customer, that means you're not signed to a buyer's agency agreement. When an agent gets ready to write an offer, they are defaulted to work with the seller. So they have to protect the seller's best interests, so they're not going to be able to negotiate on your behalf or give you advice or opinions as far as what they think you should offer in a property, because we're looking to get the seller the best terms and the best price possible. So they're usually going to say, hey, just give us your highest and best. But if you're working with your agent as a buyer's agent, now we can actually do a market analysis on the home to make sure it's priced correctly. We can give you our advice and opinions as far as helping you determine how much your offer should be. So number two, things you must consider when you're ready to put in an offer, and these are very important. What type of market is it? Is it a seller's market or a buyer's market? And that's going to really help you gauge what your offer should be, because on a buyer's market, that means there's a lot more houses than there are buyers for sales, so you don't have as much competition at homes that you're looking at. So typically you can probably negotiate a better price. In a seller's market, unfortunately, there is a lot more buyers than are houses available. So when that happens, there's a lot more buyers interested in one particular home, which can lead to a lot heavier competition and houses being in the market for a lot less, so prices tend to go up. Other thing to consider, how long has the property been on the market? Even in a seller's market, if the house has been on the market for a long time, you could probably negotiate a good deal. But if it's only been in the market for 2-3 days in a seller's market, probably not going to get it much below asking price. In a buyer's market, you might get a little bit, but it still may be tough because it's just brand new in the market. What's the condition of the home? And is the price of the home reflected in that condition? A buyer's agent will be able to help you with that to determine that. So we'll be able to look at sold comparables and stuff like that. Because if the property is being sold as is, does the price reflect that as well? Next thing to consider, is it even priced correctly? So a buyer's agent is going to be able to look at the comparable homes in the neighborhood, compare apples to apples to make sure that the home is on the market correctly, because nobody wants to put an offer on a home that it's been overpriced by $20,000, and your agent will be able to help you through that, as long as you're a buyer's agent, of course. Are there other offers on the home? A good agent should always be picking up the phone, call the listing agent, say, hey, I'm getting ready to put an offer in the home. Do you have any written activity? Right? As if you knew that, it might push you into a direction where you want to go with that offer. Because if it's priced correctly, you might say, you know what, I really want this house. I'll do whatever it takes to get that home. So a lot of buyers right now in the seller's market are going much more over asking price so they can get the home, because we're seeing 4, 5, 6 offers at times. I've seen some listings get up to 20 offers. So I've seen anywhere from $5,000 to about $25,000 over asking price right now in today's market. The other thing too, in this hot market, you do want to avoid looking at homes that are at the top of your price range. So if your budget is $200,000 and that's the most you can get approved for, you might want to look at homes in the 180 range. So this way, if you do have to go over asking price to get a home that you love, you have that cushion to actually do so. Because if you're at $200,000 and you go $20,000 over asking price, then that means you're going to have to bring that money to closing, and most people are not going to have that type of money. Other thing to keep in mind is, what type of creative options does your agent have to help you stand out and offer to purchase? So some of the things I always recommend to a lot of the buyers I'm working with, get your pre-approval fully underwritten. So that means your file has been approved by underwriters. They've looked at all the information that the lenders have done. Fully underwritten pre-approval goes a lot further than a standard pre-approval. You can also offer more earnest money. Most people like to put $1,000 for earnest money. In this situation, why not put your full down payment as your earnest money? Because you're going to get it. It's going to be used at closing for your down payment anyway, but it might show the seller that you're a little bit more serious than the average buyer who's only putting $1,000. So if you got a 5% down payment, do 5% earnest money based on the purchase price. Another creative option that I've come up with is during the inspection period. Yes, we still want you to do a home inspection because you got to make sure that the condition of the home doesn't go beyond what you can handle. So you can put in the contract the buyer is going to do a home inspection. The buyer will do all repairs to that said home inspection as long as those repairs don't go beyond the control of what you can handle. That might be attractive to a seller because now they don't have to worry about doing any repairs and spending more money against another buyer who has a home inspection, and they could end up doing a lot of costly repairs. How about writing a letter to the seller? Sometimes getting on that personal level with a seller could be the tipping point for them choosing your offer over another offer, especially when they're very close in purchase price and terms. Can you put more money down? So let's think about apples to apples here. You're up against another buyer. You guys got the exact same price, exact same earnest money amount. Everything is the same. You're putting 5% down, and the other buyer's putting 5% down. Who does the seller choose? How about you say, I'll put 10% down, which is a little bit more attractive to the seller because that tells them that you have more money. Maybe you're a little bit more responsible, and you could be the better choice. Also, too, what type of financing your options you're using. If you're using a less attractive financing options such as FHA, it's because some sellers view that financing option as being maybe buyers who can't afford a conventional loan or anything else like that. Because if you can get a conventional loan, definitely try to do so. If not, we can still work with FHA with some of these other creative options to definitely help you. Are you asking for closing cost credits? Sellers are looking at that as well. A buyer who's asking for a closing cost credit may be perceived as maybe they don't have enough money, and if things come up that they're not going to be able to afford it, which can cause a deal to fall apart. So that's another thing to keep in mind. One of my biggest things I like to do in a contract is protecting your money, for one. So if you want to go up to $20,000 over asking price, it's called the escalation clause. So let's say, for an example, the house is listed at $200,000. You want to put an offer in the home. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to go $20,000 over and actually spending it, and then could you imagine if you learned that the other offer below you was only $4,000 over and you ended up spending $16,000 more than that previous offer? Holy crap, that's a lot of money, right? So let's talk about saving you that money. What we're going to do is an escalation clause. Buyer to offer $2,000 over the next highest price up to $20,000, not to exceed that. So now if that other offer is only $4,000 over asking price, yours would be $6,000 based on that clause, which would have saved you tons of money. If you like all these great suggestions as far as how I can help you get to your perfect dream home, how about you reach out to me? My cell phone number is 920-279-5936, or you can email me at charles@foxcitieshomepro.com. And if you have any further questions, you can reach out to me as well. And also, too, if you liked this video, hit subscribe below, as I'm going to be posting a lot more, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.